So we are a company, we mix contemporary dance and contemporary circus, and we use a lot of sort of character intention and theatricality within our work. We use a lot of contact-based lifting and partner work, and then we just take it that little bit further into acrobatics, mainly hand-to-hand and partner acrobatics, but we do use other forms of circus as well, steer wheel and juggling and various other things. A lot of our work is outdoors. We started off just doing outdoor work. The first couple of years was just outdoors. And then we started to go indoors as well. So we do have indoor shows. But outdoors, we always, every year, we just set aside end of May till September purely for outdoor work, just because we have managed to create a really nice sort of summer touring season with our outdoor work, and because we love it as well. It's very different to indoors, and yeah, there's so many fantastic things about outdoor touring.
For 2 years we were touring Olivia's Motion House. I was touring with some Circulation Local. We were meeting a lot on the road because like both companies.
Literally on the road. Once we met on the motorway.
Which took quite a while to find actually.
Jan was driving around for ages. I was saying, I'm on the motorway. He was like, which motorway?
Somewhere in France.
Yeah,
I remember going
somewhere in France.
through the peage and again through the peage and again.
Did you? Sorry, I didn't know you had to.
That's like the clear idea where we want to go. So the 2 years long distance we have trained, like we did like train already with that dance, we did train a bit of things, but we never really said it's training. We just said, oh, it's playing around and doing fun things together. And then after having tried a couple of different companies where we did some R&Ds, we realized maybe we should do work ourselves. Like maybe just like it's what we need, like be our own directors. And that's how actually the first piece came together, which was just a trial.
Don't Drink and Dance.
Which was Don't Drink and Dance. When we work, we often do contact improvisation for hours. And just we put a theme, and then in this improvisation we often find ways to lift each other in a very natural way. And often like it's not I just lift you, it's really like now I lift you, you lift me, and it just like goes into each other, and we don't really think about like what happens. And often then the work after is really to just like find the lifts again and like put them like back together. That's actually often harder than doing the content improvisation. But when we work together, it's quite natural that we say like, oh yeah, I just get picked up, or I suddenly feel like, oh, there's a platform I can use to like be lifted. It's something we always like to like have this interaction where the bodies talk and the lifting each other as part of this interaction. Because obviously in the circus tricks there's a limitation, because we need, for some of the tricks when they're more technical, we need a size difference, we need weight difference.
I can't have Jan standing on my head, unfortunately. I mean, we're working on it.
Yeah,
No.
there is that trademark of you standing on Jan's head.
Yeah, we always have a stand on head. We discovered that we were actually quite good at standing on head, and then we started to do lots of different things while standing on head. The most recent one is I play the flute and he plays the saxophone at the same time.
I've seen that picture,
And that is so difficult. You know, actually it's funny because once we're up there, I think people think, oh wow, well that's, but they don't go, oh my god, that's the hardest thing you've ever done. Whereas it really is the hardest thing we've ever done. Mainly because of the positioning of the head to play a sax and anyway. But I think that going back to the lifting, I think it's really important for us, not only sort of physically, but also emotively as well. Because, for example, in Lancement, the show is quite a roller coaster of emotions, and it does get quite aggressive. And the way that we managed to put that on the street and for it to be, because it just happened that way as we made it. We didn't set out to make a part which was actually quite violent. So, because I'm just as mean to him as he, I throw him on the floor countless times. And I lift him, and I think that equality in a relationship is really, really important, and it's really important. It's really important in our personal relationship anyway. And so I think that transcends into our work, and it's something that happens in our indoor shows as well as our outdoor shows, because it is something I think more and more as a company that we sort of create as a trademark.
Different. Sometimes we have very clear ideas. So Don't Drink and Dance was inspired by me moving to England and seeing English drinking culture first, which I've never experienced.
And you didn't move straight back. Wow.
And I was very impressed by this thing of like, how fast people drink and how crazy they get. So I was like,
I think you were more surprised
than
impressed.
Yeah, so so that was a really like, and we thought like, oh, maybe we should just make a show, which is like a bit has this idea. The next step, we kind of went a bit further abstract. We talked about the idea of hand to hand. H to H stands for hand to hand, and it's just about like physical contact, but as well relationships between people. And in the end, we wanted to have more people. So it was 4 people, and it was very interesting to see different constellation of how you can how you meet, what you do together, and how the relationship evolves. And you came in as well. It was very interesting to see, when you come from a movement perspective, and then later on you see, oh no, there's actually much more in there. There's so much things in there which tells us about day-to-day life and couples, but as well jealousy and frustration and other things. So no, it was very interesting.
I do trust him implicitly, and so I think that probably shows and that trust. Well, this is it. I mean, I have to trust him, and also, I do think sometimes, because sometimes I'm doing something, I think, oh, this is a bit scary, and then I think, it's all right, Jan, catch me, it's fine.